So this is nettle. It's my favorite love plant. I hate to love. It's got a lot of little nasty prickles all over it, which is why I've got these long sleeves on and these heavy gloves. It's going to seed. I definitely don't want to allow the seeds to become viable because every single one of those seeds, it seems, germinates. I got nettle growing all over the place, all over the corners of this square here, enclosure that I made to keep the chickens out. I haven't really done anything here yet. I planted potatoes last year, and some over here. Something's destroying them. I don't know what's going in there. I think it's some kind of rodent. I can't really tell. I'll show you in a little while, but right there, something's been digging. Anyway, the nettle, this thing is huge. It's got to be at least 7 feet tall right now. And like I said, it's going to seed. And I really got to cut these seed heads off. I mean, the seeds are good for medicinal purposes, but I'm not sure if I want to save them quite yet. I definitely want to get this batch of leaves out of the way because every time we walk by to close the coop or open the coop, you're getting attacked by these stray stems. So these definitely have to go. But the good thing about nettle, I like to use it for tea. It's good for just about any kind of ailment you have. I may or may not write the list that I have in the description box. I don't know, I'll think about it. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's good for a lot of things. It's good if you have anemia. It's very high in iron. It's good for asthma. Whenever I have an asthma attack, I take nettle and it really seems to help a lot. What else is it good for? It's good for digestion, although it does make you, it cleans you out, so you have to be careful with that also. But it just basically, you know, if you take it overnight and you know, maybe you're constipated, it works as a laxative, so it really helps in that way. And then it just really boosts your health. It really boosts your health in general. I should be taking it every day, but it has a really terrible flavor. It's just awful. It's awful. Sometimes I try to mix it with mint, and that seems to help improve the flavor. But anyway, like I said, I really have to cut this down. Oh, and yeah, so anyway, so what I'm going to do with these stems is I'm going to cut that stuff down too, and I'm just going to put it, lay it down in this bed here, this enclosure, to fertilize some of these things that I'm about to plant. It's a very good, it's high in nutrients, so it's almost like comfrey in that, you know, you put it, you know, you do your chop and drop thing, composting in place, and it really boosts the plant's health as well as your own health. So anyway, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to try and clean out as much of this as possible. I have the wrong clippers. These little tiny dollar store, Dollar Tree clippers are okay, but I need some proper pruning clippers. So anyway, so for now I'm just going to cut these here, and I'm going to cut that as much as I can. And then, I don't know. Anyway, and like I said, I'm going to lay it down on the ground. It's not too pretty, but before long, all of those stems are going to bush out again and make more leaves. To be sure, it's a very good root system, and so it's definitely gonna flush back again. Meanwhile, I have access to these berries, these well, they're wine berries that they were sort of behind the nettles. So now when they're ready, I can pick them with these. And these, on the other hand, you see this here is the path to the rear where I used to keep the bees, and that's where I also keep the straw for the chicken coop. There's a beehive, and the straw is directly behind this. I haven't really attempted to go back there yet. I'm supposed to clean the coop. I've been putting it off for more than a month now because that thicket is very, well, it's thick. It's a thicket. That's why they call it thicket. So anyway, one trouble task at a time. Now I'm gonna take care of this business. So I squeezed a bunch of stuff in this bed. Well, this whole square area. I pulled up all the nettle. That there is lemon balm, and this is potato. I took the nettle. I took the nettle and I tucked it underneath this potato plant. And I did the same thing over here. This is potato, and all the nettle is kind of tucked underneath. That one doesn't have too much nettle under it. I still have a whole stack of nettle that I cut, so I'm gonna do that in a minute. But I wanted to kind of show you before I covered everything with nettle, and you can't really see. So there's some more potatoes under there, and I tucked some kale, some dinosaur kale, cabbage, dinosaur kale, curly kale. I put a tomato over there. There's a couple of tomatoes over there. Oh, there's 3 tomatoes over there. And this here is corn. This is a Little Giant, which I got from Bountiful Gardens. It's supposed to get to be about 3 feet tall, and but it makes a fairly regular sized ear of corn, yellow. So I planted it last year, but I put them in containers because it said that they're good for containers, but I didn't find that to be true. Or at least not for myself, because I mean I loaded up that container with manure and I fed it, not a lot, but usually if I give the corn a good application of manure once in the season, and then kind of give it this and that here and there, it usually does pretty good, but didn't do good. So I don't know if it's about the variety or if it's something that I didn't quite do right. So I'm going to give it another chance, and I'm planting it in the ground this year, hoping that I'll get better results. Anyway, so I like to put anyway some kind of green coverage on the ground, and there's already straw on the ground, but I want to put the nettle in between the rows to make sure that, because there's a lot of birds in this yard, to make sure that they don't come in here and pluck the seedlings, because it's still pretty small and tender. I don't usually like to plant them that small into the ground. I usually like to put them into some other container and then transplant that into the ground, because like I said, it makes for a more robust plant that the birds won't eat. Well, if they do eat it, they won't pluck it out of the ground, which is the trouble. If they just eat a couple leaves here and there, it's not a travesty. So anyway, I'm gonna put the nettle down, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I may or may not show you. It's getting late and I'm getting hot and I need to go inside, so let me get on with this. So I think I'm done here. There's some peas growing along the edges. It didn't work out like I was hoping. This is the only one that's really growing up this chicken wire thing. Well, there's one too, but the rest of them are just kind of lying on the ground. But anyway, I'm just gonna let that become green manure if it doesn't really do anything. Anyway, so I got, like I said, a bunch of stuff in here. There's potatoes, there's kale, there's one Brussels sprouts, peas, tomato. There's a sunflower from last year. So yeah, I covered everything in nettle, and very quickly this stuff will break down and become natural fertilizer for my plants. There's some corn. So yeah, I'm just gonna, I don't hardly come in here whenever, because this is not a very good entry. I made this gate last fall, and I have been waiting for the opportune time to install it here, but I don't know, weather hasn't been good. I'm waiting for a nice dry couple days so that the wood can dry out well, so that when I drill holes or drill the screws in, it doesn't give too much resistance. So anyway, but yeah, we haven't really had like 2 good dry days yet. Next week is supposed to be nice and dry and warm, so we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I'm done. I'm going in the house now. Thanks for watching.